Hey everyone, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm your host, Sunny, and today I've got a bit of a morbid one, but I hope you guys like it. It's a little long, so you're going to want to sit back and enjoy this one. Today, I'm going to tell you guys how you're going to die. Yeah, go Sunny. According to astrology anyways. But before we begin, first things first, if you like the videos, please give it a thumbs up. And maybe even share with your friends on Facebook, or maybe add it to a YouTube playlist. And if you have any questions or comments, then please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them in the weekly love horoscopes video. All right, next, let's get started and jump right in. This is a bit of a long one. First, every astrological sign rules a different part of the body, and as such, it's been said that in a very simplified way, that whatever part of the body that your sign rules, again, and I'm simplifying this, and the planets rule stuff as well, but it's where you can expect to find your major illness in life, and or at least parts of the body that each sign should be aware of. Now, yes, many astrologers and guys having fun like to put lists up saying things like Scorpio upsets so many people with their arrogance, or Libra flakes so much that someone's simply going to shoot him, right? Or maybe a Taurus likes food so much that they'll eat themselves silly to death. And although some of that might actually come to pass, is not exactly what we'd call medical astrology. So, have fun, but take everything with a grain of salt. Alright, here we go. Oh, so once again, here we go. Dear Aries, this should be easy. You're so aggressive and impulsive, you're probably going to die in a skydiving accident. That's what everyone says, but here's the real deal. Right? According to medical astrology, Aries rules the head, physical brain, and eyes. So it's most likely that you have to watch out for brain tumors. And I mean that for real. And I'll tell you a personal story here. I have examples from some of these. Michael Fran was an Aries, and he died last year of, believe it or not, a brain tumor. Well, eventually there were tumors in his brain. Interesting, huh? Alright. Aries also have to watch their eyes. Right? As kids, they may have been susceptible to eye infections. And as they age, disease in the body will show up in the eyes. And here's another one. A friend of mine who was actually a Taurus but had very strong Mars and Aries influence. That was a pretty strong influence. And had yellow eyes when she was sick. So, Aries, if you're worried about your health, then have your eyes checked and keep tabs on the health of your head. And obviously, if you're involved in physical and competitive and dangerous sports, wear a helmet, Aries. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them in the next Love Scopes video. Next, dear Taurus. Alright, Taurus. Some might say Taurus is our greediest sign and most food-loving. And they're going to meet their end by, well, you might think at first glance that Taurus would be most tested in some kind of crazy cooking accident, right? But that's actually Cancer that would happen to, who's always cooking for others. Taurus, on the other hand, prefers to eat. And no, they're not going to choke to death. They eat slowly and they chew their food. So no choking on food for Taurus, but someone definitely might chop their hands off as they continually reach across the table and pick food from everyone's plate like they own everything. It's kind of funny to watch it happen, but it's not medical astrology. According to medical astrology, Taurus rules the throat, neck, voice, and thyroid. So, look for thyroid problems. Look for throat cancers. But it's a little deeper than that. This is interesting. Like the eyes of Aries, the throat of Taurus will reveal a lot. And here's another story. My grandmother passed away last year, and she died after a long, very happy, peaceful life because of diabetes, complications due to diabetes. And now diabetes isn't necessarily a Taurus ailment, but in this case, it was what she ate. And it's the same with my father recently. He's right there on the cusp, Aries Taurus, and his health problems are a direct result of his diet, stuff Taurus puts in their mouth. And so I'm all for desserts. If anybody knows me, I'm all for desserts. But watch what you're eating. You don't have to be a nutrition freak, but you do have to take care, Taurus, what enters your body through your mouth. So, heads up, and be careful. Next, the Gemini. Oh goodness. If there was ever a sign that was going to get shot, it's the multifaceted, two-faced Gemini. I couldn't believe I wrote that. Anyways, there's a reason they call Gemini the trickster. And my own mom, who's a Gemini, has told me a million times, and I quote, my mom says this, never trust a Gemini. And I'm like, who tells that to their kids? Like, seriously, what mother tells her son not to trust her? Geminis, right? That's who. Anyways, here's the real scoop. In medical astrology, Gemini rules the arms, lungs, shoulders, hands, and brain. And my friends, that's a lot. But the dual nature of Gemini makes them a lot tougher than they appear. Now here's a note. Often, if you're looking to spot a Gemini in a crowd, right, or like a Gemini rising, they're the ones that are always talking with their mouths. Good writing, Sonny. They're the ones always talking with their hands. Just saying. Gemini like to hold things in their hand, touch things in their hand, and that's how you spot them in the crowd. Anyways, just saying. These guys, Geminis, but it's true, are susceptible to dementias. They go crazy bananas. They're also super social, so like Libra, they have to watch out for socially transmitted problems. And here's something neat. Geminis have to watch out for mini strokes, as well. And you see the guys whose faces are drooping on one side, or you notice one side of the body looks sick, but the other side's healthy? That's a Gemini. So, or they have a lot of Gemini influence in them. So be careful. And although Gemini is a restless and stressful sign, try and keep calm and keep the peace for your own mental, physical, and definitely emotional health. Next, dear Cancer. Oh man, Cancer, our most selfish side. Yes, not greedy like Taurus, but selfish. And I know this is difficult. I'm going to do a top 6 selfish signs video shortly, so I'll take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, I know it's difficult to believe all of this because Cancers are super nurturing and they seem to do everything for everyone else. But here's the kicker. It's on their terms. So, and they don't listen, and they smother, and they do their own thing regardless of the consequences. And as such, here, oh come on, man. Getting messages. Alright, back to Cancer. Cancer is one of my favorite signs, by the way. I fall in. Anyways, here we go. They don't listen and they smother and they do their own thing regardless of the consequences. And as such, Cancer is most likely to be killed by their own kids. Okay? Very seriously. That's just my 2 cents. According to medical astrology, though, Cancer rules the chest, breast, and stomach. And here's where things get spooky interesting. My sister who passed away, her cancer began in the stomach and spread to her breast. Fascinating. It's interesting, huh? So, if you're a Cancer, in addition to loosening up on the needy control freak dramas, keep tabs on your stomach, breast, and your emotions. As our most emotional sign, you're susceptible to ailments caused through emotional stress as well. And that will eventually cause tumors in your stomach and breast. And this should be obvious as well. But Cancer, watch the sweets. Watch the comfort eating. And watch your waistline. Next, dear Leo. Okay, this one is easy. Leo, you're going to get shot on stage by a disgruntled fan. It happens all the time. Oh, by someone you've never met. But anyways, here's the interesting thing about Leos. The number one killer these days seems to be heart-related problems. But the stat is slightly skewed because, when it comes to the astrology and the mortality rates and stuff, like because there are more Leos out there, well, at the time of writing this, than any other signs. So it's no wonder that you're going to, this stat is elevated. But according to medical astrology, Leo rules the heart, chest, spine, and upper back. That's a lot. This means heart attacks, this means stress-related ailments, this means back problems, and ailments that directly attack the spine. I'm not going to list all of the potential problems that can be found here because there are a lot. And you might have some kind of new agey kind of stress that affects your heart. So, Leos, watch your chakras. Yeah, got it? Watch your chakras, Leo. Keep the stress low. Watch your back, watch your heart. Leos, you guys like to carry very big loads. You're major zodiac astrological all-stars. And, you do all the work if no one's around. And you don't mind it. And people don't actually realize how hard of a worker you really are. Anyways, be careful. This might cause problems down the road. Next, dear Virgo. Oh man, Virgo. These guys nag so much, seriously? They don't nag as much as Cancer, but it's harsher. And like Aquarius, Virgos always think they're right. So I'd watch your back, Virgo, especially if you're a mouthy Virgo. Someone close to you just might do you in. But you can relax a little. That's not what the book says. According to medical astrology, Virgo rules the intestines, digestive system, nervous system. And yes, the Virgin even farts. It rules the spleen. So, check this out. The opposite sign of Virgo is Pisces, our most go with the flow and changing sign. So Virgo on the opposite side of that axis there, and that's the health, it's one of the health axes there on the zodiac. Virgo represents our most nervous thoughts and uptight feelings. And it's no wonder. Virgos are really smart. And they live to make lists and they love to plan. They also love structure and order. And if anything is off the plan or out of place, they will notice it and more than likely they will say something about it. These guys are the classic stress cases of the zodiac. Pisces looks like they're always going to cry. Virgo looks like they're always worrying about something. So, if you're a Virgo, then definitely chill out a bit and live a little longer. Next, Libra, our most beautiful sign. Well, I'd say of all the signs, Libra is the most likely to be stalked. They are so pretty and graceful, and by far our most flirtiest sign, that it's no wonder people are always falling in love with them, and not necessarily in a healthy way. But then again, when you flirt with anything that will talk to you, you're opening yourself for trouble, Libra. But, how's that gonna help, Sonny? Okay, we all know Libra's gonna die from indecision. They'll be sick and they'll just wait too long for help. And there might be a little truth in that one. But, according to medical astrology, Libra rules. Okay, now check this out. Libra rules the kidneys. Libra rules the heart. The what? I'll do that again. According to medical astrology, Libra rules the kidneys, right? So Libra, drink lots and lots of water. Do the occasional cleanse. Next, Libra rules the skin. So if something is off or there's something funky about the Libra, then this is all going to show up in the skin. So Libras, wear sunscreen. Libra also rules the lower back. So do your stretches, keep going to yoga. And Libra also rules the bum. And it's no wonder when you see some of those exceptionally beautiful Libras out there. It's cute. Anyways, got it, Libra? Drink lots of fluids, watch your kidneys, and watch your skin. If you have any questions, then simply leave them in the comments section below. And of course, I'll answer them in the Love Scopes video. Next, dear Scorpio. Well, let's see. People with a lot of Scorpio energy like change and transformation, and they tend to be leaders, and they are well versed in the. Wow, how redundant is this? They're well versed with change and transformation through death. So for many Scorpios, I'd guess they'd orchestrate some kind of mass suicide in some kind of crazy sex cult thing. Anyways, just saying, something to watch for. Anyways, according to medical astrology, Scorpio rules the reproductive system and the sexual organs. So right at the top of the list for men is prostate cancer. And for women, you have to watch your ovaries. In a strange twist, you'd think Scorpios would have to watch for some of the socially transmitted ailments, but as sexy as Scorpios are, they aren't really a jump into bed with everyone and they see kind of sign. They're not totally safe or immune or even excluded, but by nature, they do limit their chances in that department. But this is a part of the body that you have to watch out for. And I'll say it again. Scorpios have to watch out for prostate or ovarian cancer. And while you're at it, Scorpio, watch the stress. You tend to hold everything in and bottle it up and waiting for the right time to explode. You know, I'd suggest a little more calibration with your vengeance levels, and perhaps your internal emotional stress might actually just drop a little. Just saying, Scorpio. Next, dear Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius are most optimistic and fun-loving sign. These guys want to make you laugh, and they love a good adventure, whether it be romantic or otherwise. They love to get outside, explore, and see the larger side of life. And as such, it would be easy to guess that many Sagittarius, these guys die by getting squished by falling trees while out hiking. Or maybe because they're all about higher calling. They're not like, Pisces is like more higher calling spiritual thing, but Sagittarius rules the higher mind and broader thinking. But although they do this, you know, and they are mindful, but they're rather untactful and often upsetting with their comments. So Sag might actually get into a heated debate with a peaceful monk who suddenly snaps from a barrage of hard yet truthful Sagittarius comments and just drowns him in holy water. That's what I think anyways. But alas, according to medical astrology, Sagittarius rules the hips, right? Think hip replacement in later years. They rule the thighs, you know, think legs tired from hiking or shopping. They rule the liver, right? Do you guys hear that? Sagittarius has to watch their liver. So make sure you squeeze a little lemon on all of your meals. Sagittarius also rules the sciatic nerve. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm not sure exactly how that affects your health, but it might cause problems with posture, and if there's something off in that part of the body, then you should feel it everywhere. Which is kind of how the Sagittarius energy works anyways. So, be careful guys. Good luck. Next, dear Capricorn. Okay, this one is easy. Like Leo, you guys have a good chance of getting caught up on the wrong side of a military coup. Or it's very possible that an investment you're working on for one of your mafia friends goes sideways in a big way. And, well, you know what they say, it's the cost of doing business, Capricorn. Alright, but according to medical astrology, Capricorn rules the knees, joints, and skeletal system. I think they also rule the teeth, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Anyways, this means that Capricorn should watch for degenerative bone problems. They should probably watch their calcium levels. They should stretch, watch the stress, watch that stress doesn't affect the posture too much, and make sure you don't use your muscles to, make sure you use the muscles to move the skeleton, not the skeleton to move the muscles. And you should be okay. Next, dear Aquarius. Oh, this one's easy. You guys are super rebels and you're so freedom-loving and adventurous that you're probably going to meet your ends either in a social protest that gets out of hand, or you accidentally catch yourself on fire when dancing up at a tribally infused manifestation dance at Burning Man or something. Maybe at the beach here. But according to medical astrology, Aquarius rules the ankles and circulatory system. Not very exciting. But just like Aquarius energy that starts with an idea and it spreads like wildfire, your circulatory system can spread an ailment throughout your body at a wicked and unusually fast pace. And like the outside of the box thinking Aquarius, the disease might be difficult to identify and understand. So it's better to watch for the signs than it is to try and figure it all out after the damage is set in. Got it, Aquarius? So, watch the circulatory system. And finally, dearest Pisces. Well, like it or not, Pisces gets the rep of being one of the true flakes of the zodiac. Not Libra flaky, who flakes on purpose to get themselves out of trouble, but rather Pisces are very, let's just say, changing. They can easily and rapidly adapt to the look and feel of their surroundings. So they are intuitively good at everything. So it's not like they flake on purpose. They just get caught up in their adventures and they keep going. It's a tricky one. Keeping the attention of a spiritually driven, fast-thinking, psychically, active at all times sign is difficult, but is worth it. And if you need any help, why am I talking about this? Anyways, if you need any help to trying to seduce a Pisces or get them to like you, then have a look at one of the Pisces videos on the channel. But according to medical astrology, Pisces rules the feet. It rules the toes and the lymphatic system. And believe it or not, if you're a Pisces, you should watch out for dry feet or sore toes, because although it may seem like nothing, they could be indicators of something much more serious. And it should be obvious. Keep track of your lymphatic system. So I'll say that again. It's like the Libra skin. If something's off in a Libra, they'll see it in the skin. It's like the eyes of an Aries. If something's off in an Aries, you'll see it in their eyes. If something's off in a Pisces, they're going to feel it in their feet. So just a heads up, guys. And that's it. I know it's a little twisted, but there is a branch of astrology called medical astrology, and I like to have fun with it. And that's how you're going to die, according to medical astrology. Now, as a quick FYI, the planets also rule different parts of the body, and a planet that's getting stressed out in your chart, so to speak, will have a negative impact on your body. So it won't hurt to have a closer look at your chart. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the message box below. Remember to share the videos on Facebook and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, if you haven't done it already. And as always, from the sunnyside.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon.